Greetings, beautiful viewers. This is Smitten. Today I would like to sit down with you guys and have a conversation about something. Let's discuss Sundering Spear. If you've been living under a rock or haven't played Smite in the past couple of months, let me give you the quick and dirty on the Season 4 relic. Sundering Spear is a 120-second cooldown relic that unleashes a projectile that deals true damage and increases damage taken on the target hit. Sunder allows all damage sources to hit you for increased damage over the duration, including minions, objectives, and definitely from enemy gods. Now, the discussion I want to have isn't about what Sunder is. I want to talk about what it could or what it should be. I'm not stuck on any one idea, but I wanted to share some ideas and get some feedback. I already know there's a lot of people that want Sunder removed from the game completely, and there are just as many people who are screaming to keep the relic in the game. Regardless of whether you're pro-Sunder or anti-Sunder, it's in the game. Let's talk about what we can do to balance it out. The first suggestion I heard whenever I asked what do we do about Sunder was that we just flat out delete it from Smite. When this was suggested, immediately someone else came in and said, well, what about the tank meta? It's true that Season 4's meta seems to be pretty tanky lately, but this isn't the first time that we've been here. Season 2 Smite was pretty tanky as well. The way the meta adjusted to the tankiness back then can ultimately be boiled down to a couple of things. This was back in the day where the jungle and mid were buying red or purple pot at the start of the game. Red pot was cheap, could be purchased at any level, and the extra power that early would make your clears so much faster. So, having an extra boost to your early game allowed late game gods to become more relevant in the meta. I'm talking Kali, Nemesis, etc. Both of which are well known to be tank shredders. Obviously, rushing a 450 gold consumable was risky business, and you would fall really far behind if you died with your pot still active. But it still allowed your late game shredders to really put their foot in the door of this early pressure meta. Okay, Smitten, why don't we pick Kali or Nemesis now to deal with the tanks? If you take a look at the gods that are currently being picked by junglers, which is arguably the role that establishes the tempo of the game, you'll notice that a majority of them have fantastic early game. Early game pressure is king in Smite and has been for quite a long time, so your late game tanky solutions fall to the wayside when they have to surrender their first round of jungle camps. If Hi-Rez hasn't removed the relic yet, despite the thousands of complaints they must be getting about it, let's just assume for the sake of argument that it's here to stay. I have several other suggestions for what to do with Sunder that I'll try to get through quickly and concisely. The second idea is to make Sunder available for purchase only after level 12. Since we have to wait until we're level 12 to get a second relic anyways, why not just put a level requirement on it? By the time the average player in an average game is able to get a second relic, you have had some time to farm and prepare for the mid game. Level 12 is when you start to see things like team fights and objectives. Having Sunder at this point in the game would make sense as you're trying to deal with the tanky characters you say Sunder helps you to handle. The third idea was to have Sunder only available to be purchased by one of your teammates, meaning there can only be a singular Sunder that you would have to worry about being on the playing field at any given point, allowing you to more easily avoid that person and guard against it. One of the problems with the way Sunder is today is that there can be 5 of them on the enemy team, so limiting the number that can be on the field is the easy way to deal with this issue. Idea number 4 is to allow the increased damage passive to only increase the Sunder's owner instead of all damage sources. Say I'm playing Kumba with Sunder. I run up to a bitch, bonk him with Sunder, and slap him up into the air with my ult. When he lands, he's only taking increased damage from my ult and my preceding damage, not my ADC's. This would allow multiple instances of Sunder in one game to be far less annoying. If Sunder is really here to help us deal with the tank meta, then why not go with the 5th idea? Only allow Sunder to target tanky classes. Seriously though, why do we have to use Sunder on gods with tiny health pools? Another suggestion is to take off one of the stats in the passive, either take out the true damage or take out the percentage increased damage. I'm not keen on this idea as I believe that the problem isn't the true damage. The real problem lies in the fact that the increased damage is percentage based, meaning there's no real cap on how much devastation Sunder can bring at any point in the game. The last suggestion is to simply remove the percentage-based increased damage and replace it with flat increased damage. Or we could only let Sunder deal the increased damage up to a certain threshold of the victim's health, say 50%? There's a lot of ways that we could run with Sunder to make it somewhat balanced. I would really enjoy hearing your own thoughts and experiences with Sunder and what you think we should or shouldn't do to tone this sucker down. I mean, after all, once Sunder's fixed, then all 15 of the relics in our game will finally be balanced. Won't they? Oh my god, that heal! What the fuck was that? You...
That literally
my name is Hercules, I heal for 1,000
Daniel! What the fuck was that? Oh my god, Daniel! What the... What